all my friends. Got this today, earlier. You see it's not got a lot of wear. But this is a sterling dime. Sterling silver, that is. 10 cents, 1918. Somebody did smash staples, but they did not do that one. Just make sure they're down. Now, looking this up, sterling silver and a 10-cent Canadian dime is a little over $7 by its melt value. So I got this one for $4 today, which tells me the coin dealer priced it a few months ago maybe and hadn't sold it yet and didn't change the price. But when you can get them in there this kind of shape, though, it's pretty nice. I think what happened was they went 80% silver, I think in 1920, so they did not make the sterling, and I think a lot of the sterling got pulled out of circulation. That's why this one is not worn out. Now, I went ahead and I got this $6.50. Just looked at the coinflation silver melt chart. War nickel is $5.81 of silver by melt. A dime is $7.47. Quarters $18.68. 50-cent piece $37.37. A Morgan or piece dollar melt is $79.92, and 40% half dollars are up to $15 now, with Ike dollars being $32. That is 40% ones, that is. So we're looking at this 1842. It's worn out quite a bit. There's a divot there, but the melt on a US dime is $7.47. So this is about $1 under melt, and it's a really old coin. It's not a super high mintage year either. So I got the sterling dime for $3 under. I got this one for $1 under. And since he had a second 1842 seated Liberty dime, I decided to go ahead and buy it too, since it was only $6.50, which is about $1 under melt. Hello, Brad. How you doing? So go ahead and smash these staples down on this, and let's talk about what I just talked about in a short. And I had this coin. Where is it? This 39 Denver. It's a somewhat common year, but as you can see, the wear on this is not very much. Ever slight right on the highest point of the coin, which I would probably rate this somewhere around, I didn't notice that, looks like a scratch, unless that's the plastic. Anyway, this particular coin is probably AU something, and what you look for is breaks in the mint luster. If you have a lot of breaks in it, it's probably just extra fine. It won't be a lot of wear though, either one. But it's a lovely coin. But at $16, the melt on these is $37.37. So when I bought it, half dollar probably cost about $6-7, somewhere around that neighborhood, because I've had it for a while. And that makes this, if you wanted to recuperate that plus the premium, you'd have to charge almost $48 for this coin, and I'm not so sure you could get $48 out of it. But even if I sold it right at melt, I'm up. Now let's see if I have another 1842 Seated Liberty coin in my little bit better coins box. A lot of seated coins. You know, when you talk about era coins, this is a pretty far off center struck dime. Don't know what year. I'm trying to tell if, let's see if I hold it like this. That looks like red, so I'm going to say this is not a silver one, but even at that, it's an era coin that is undeniable. I mean, some of them, people look at it and say, well, you think you have an era coin, but it's not really. Cap bust dime, 1833. This one's a premium coin even today. Now, get back here into these half dimes. It'll be a long time for the silver in this to exceed what the price was. I didn't smash the staples on this one. I bought a bunch of these and didn't smash staples on them. Should have been doing it all along, but two of them are smashed. Kind of weird. So, wow. 1855 with arrows. This is the same one. It's worn more and the price is higher. Although that back looks nice. Small coin, very small coin. Front is worn more, quite a bit more. But I bought this from a different dealer and probably paid more than I should have, but sometimes you do that. Half dimes don't come up on the market as often. Now this one's a little more reasonable price at $12. So I'm getting now to the Seated Liberty dimes. What I want to see is if I have an 1842 already. So we'll put these back in this box and grab the first few dimes out to get me past uh, 1842 in the Seated Liberty dimes. Alright, first thing in this, these two are worn quite a bit. Do think when I got them they were about 1839, and this one is 1838. With that, does not have drapery on it, and neither does this one. Drapery, there's a little piece that they added between the elbow and the knee to make it not look that way. Alright, here's another 1838 one. It's not worn as bad, but it is worn quite a bit. Another 1838. And these prices on the 1838s are pretty high, so it might be a little bit lower mintage kind of deal. Harder to find. I don't know. Alright. 1841. This particular dime is the dime I did my first video for when I started my YouTube channel. It's the first video I ever did. Man, that's in bad shape. Was only $5 though. Here's another 1841. One dime. It's worn pretty bad. Let's see. But you can see the date. Well, this is kind of messed up. It's an 1842 Orleans. It says $4. This one has the O above the bow. So I do not have an 1842 Philadelphia until now, at least not in this box. So I get to add one to the box. Let's look at this 1845 one. The drapery I was mentioning is over here. You can see that little spot between the elbow and knee has extra design on it now. It's worn a bit. This one real good. Pretty much a full rim, although there's a little divot in there. Yeah. Well, addicted to minis. Look at this. 1818 Canadian, 10 cents. It's sterling silver. Yeah, quite a few of them are under melt now. This I got today. And you're going to really like this part. Because when I got it, that $4, that's how much this was. And the melt on this is over $7, so it's $3 under melt. So it's a pretty nice one. And then I did buy, where'd that other 1842 dime go? I bought two Philadelphia 1842s, $6.50. That's about $1 under melt. The Canadian 10-cent coin is way under melt. In fact, it's almost half melt, being $4 and melt's 7 something too. On this, like I said, there's not much wear on it. But that's what I bought today. I need to rearrange these 1838s. That's the no drapery design. Yeah. Well, I have two of them. I could send you one. All right. Like I said, this one was the first coin I did a video for when I started my channel. What else is this? 1841. The old Orleans Mint. It's worn quite a bit, but it's still there. That one's way under melt. These two aren't. Well, that one's starting to get close. I don't know if I actually paid $18 for this. So 1838, 1841, 420. This one's actually 1850. They wrote no date because it's been damaged, but I can tell that's a 5, and that's an O or 0. It's too bad it's damaged too, because you can read part of Liberty on it. But $2 at that price, I'm buying it all day long. Back then, it was probably under melt when I bought it. So that one's 1850. Put the 1845 back where it goes. Let's go on to the next one. Let's see how many more of these are under melt. I'll go pick up this one. That's not worn hardly at all. Read most of Liberty on it. It's an early one. And you see all the little nauticals around the rim. So no F for fine. Tell you what wasn't fine though is having to pay $31. But you know, these older coins like this, you're gonna pay more for them sometimes. There's quite a few more in here that are dimes. Wow. There's a lot of dimes in here. Let's just go up through the 50s into the... There's a Civil War era one. Alright, let's look at these real quick. Oh yeah, 250. It's been damaged. Oh, here's kind of a nice looking one. You can read Liberty on it. It's worn, but it's not bad. It's over melt by quite a bit. Here's another one. Someone took a wire brush too. It's a shame too, because you can really read Liberty well on that. But they took a wire brush to it and damaged it heavy. And they didn't just do the front. They kind of messed the back up some too. Although not as much. But $6 is under melt now. There's another one with arrows. This one's got a slight bend to it. Don't know how well you'll be able to tell. It's been bent though, I can tell by looking at it. It might not show through the video very well. 1854 Orleans. That one's got the old inside the reef. 1856 small date. And that's pretty small. Looks like the size of the half dime, but it is a dime. Alright. 1862. Yep. It's 1862, all right. It's Philadelphia. Go ahead and smash staples. All right. $7. Of course, you'll notice the reef here. And that's got the stars around it. This one, that'll look familiar to you because that's what they used for the barber dime. So by 1862 they changed the design some. All right. Now, it's the one thing about seated dimes is, and there's a good reason why these are in here, considered better coins. 1875, a little bit scratched up. But you see the CC, so it's Carson City. That's a pretty nice one. Another 1875. Quite worn. But again, it's Carson City. But they get better. That one's pretty nice. It's not worn very much. This one's put AB on there. I'm not sure what that really means. But there's the Carson City on that one. A little ring nick. I don't see a price on this one. Interesting. That's pretty nice. 1876 Carson City. This one, the CC is below the reef. So that's why all these are in here. They're Carson City dimes. Let's see. They're not the only ones. Somehow that one got mixed up. Because it should have been with these two right here. All right. Let's look at this. This one is damaged. A little bend in it. $8. But it's Carson City. Let's look at this one. Someone's saying it's, or said they thought it was very good to fine range. Yeah, the Liberty's starting to wear away some. The L&I's weak. BER is pretty strong. TNY is almost non-existent. But it's not worn real bad. There's another one. Now what I've not done, that one's worn a bit. The CC's very clear though. What I've not done is put the other Carson City dime I got recently in here. That was in a lot better shape than these. So we'll put these back in. We're almost done looking at these dimes. That's a nice looking one there. Fine to very fine. Wow. $5.50. That's pretty cheap. Oh, I got $half and quarters too. $4.50 for that one. This is all in the 1880 range. 1884. What happened with this one was, you can see it's 4, but because of the way it looks, if your eyes aren't real sharp, you might think that's a 1. And when I was looking at it, it was marked 1, 1881. 1881 is a pretty little mintage year and a little bit better coin, but it's not. Someone kind of marked out for Liberty on that. And it's, the TY is pretty weak. But this one, it sure isn't. This one's a pretty solid coin in terms of details left. It is worn, but it's not a lot. San Francisco Mint. Got that at a coin show. There's another San Francisco Mint one, 1888. San Francisco. Let's go ahead and work these back in. Although, I didn't really look at this one too close. That's pretty solid too. Well, that's just going to look like a barber, but because it's the same design on the back. changed wreaths a while back. Alright, let's see what we got. Let's work these back in. Last 3 years of seated dimes, of which I've got quite a few. I think this is it. For 3 years, it's quite a few different coins. Let's have a look at some of these. $15, might have paid a little too much. Well, there's the same date. This one, $12, it's cheaper. Although, it almost looks like it's slightly bent. The Liberty's there. Different coin dealers though. And this one, it looks like it's been bought and sold several times. Let's look at this one. Oh, that one's nice. Real clear lines on the shield. The high spots are flattened to some, but pretty nice. But let's see, 1890, it's worn. Another 1890. I don't know why I bought so many of these. That one's kind of a little bit better condition. It's still worn more. 1891, that doesn't look like it's worn too much. No, it's pretty solid on Liberty. This one is also 1891. It's kind of messed up and got a big scratch. It's more like a divot than a scratch. Orleans Mint for Kansas Kid if he watches this. Little old 1891 S for $5. That's pretty cheap. That's 7. And the last one was 12. It's the better of the 3. It's not quite all of Liberty's, very faint. So that's all the dimes that's in this box. And I got a few more that haven't been put in here yet. Let's see. Let's grab all the quarters. Actually, you know, this isn't a quarter. 1875 San Francisco 20-cent coin. They didn't make these very long. It's kind of worn on the back. Sign, the eagle's a little different. I'll show you the eagle on both of these. They face different directions. This is, I got a few more of these that haven't been put in here. But with this, the rays coming out from behind the eagle, 1-year design. They're 1853 Farrells. The $50 is the same as this, or looks the same pretty much. 1858 for 7. That's way under melt. All right. Go back to Carson City. This one's kind of scratched up and worn. The CC's there. All right. 350. That's so far under melt now. Wow. I put this one in the card. I got this from a jeweler, guy who sells coins. Let's just see. A little nick on the rim. This one's got a lot of the detail left on it. It looks like a little nick on the shield too. I think there's one more quarter, 1877. That's it for the quarters. But I think this one I paid about over 25 for. I wrote a little code, but I think I forgot what it means. All right. After looking at that, it'd be a shame not to show you the half dollars now, wouldn't it? And we think about a lot of these. At the time I bought them, they were quite far over melt. $48. 1843. Liberty's pretty well gone. The packaging cover's been ripped. A lot happens to these though. You look at the one side, this side, and it doesn't look that bad. It's worn a little, but well, this one isn't the best example. Sometimes one side's worn a lot more than the other. All right, 1853 of Arrows and Rays. The rays coming from behind the eagle. The only one of these I don't need, or I need to complete the set. There's 4 of them. 2 Philadelphia and 2 Orleans mints. It's the 1853 Orleans half dollar. I have the Orleans quarter. See, that side doesn't look worn real bad. This side, this down at the bottom seems to be worn a lot more. $22, that's quite under melt right now. This is only about $4 over melt, 5 maybe. And you can see that this side looks real nice. This side, not so much. Appears to be worn a little more than the back. So that happens to these for some reason. 1856 Orleans. If you haven't noticed, I kind of like Orleans mint stuff. Oh yeah, the first coin I ever paid more than $50 for right here. 1860. You can read Liberty, although it is worn. And by the no model, it doesn't have the ribbon up there that has the model on it. Being in God we trust. And then there's an 1873 one that at $14 is almost a third of melt. So it's way under melt now. But that's what happens when silver goes over $100. Now, wow, a few more really nice coins out of this better coin box to show you. Because the last couple inches of it aren't seated. How about? Now I know you don't like this design. You've probably seen this one in one of my other videos. Last year they made these Orleans mint coins. The O is real clear on this. Not much wear. That one's just a couple dollars over melt now. That one, 650, is under melt. Alright, this one says XF. You can read Liberty pretty well up there on that. It does have some toning on it too. I believe that's probably natural, not, although it looks like someone might have tried to clean it off, all the non-toned areas around 1 dime and then all the toning on it. So if I had to guess, I'd say this one's probably been cleaned. Alright, this 1916 is 750, is right at melt today. Oh yeah, the best looking barber dime I have. This is as nice a barber dime as I've ever seen and had a chance to buy. There is a very small amount of marks on it. The mint luster is very solid. On this side you look, a couple little bag scratches and stuff, you know, bag marks, nothing major. It is a really nice looking dime. One of the highest grade dimes I probably have, and easily the best looking barber dime I have. I think all the marks and stuff on this are just bag marks. I'm not sure exactly what this would grade. I'm just trying to get the light to hit it and not flash so much. You can see all the mint luster. There's no breaks in it. That's a really sweet one. Now, when you talk about semi-key dates, anything from 21, except for Morgan dollars, is kind of a bit of a key date. And I ended up getting, there's 2. I ended up getting 3 of them. Each one a little bit more expensive than the other. But it'll be a while before these go under melt, if they ever do. It's hard telling where silver's going. That's a pretty nice looking mercury dime. Now, considering that barber dime, this particular mercury dime is probably equal in terms of lack of wear. A few bag marks. This is a really nice looking dime. You can see the mint luster on it. It's really nice. There's a little bit worse mark right up there on the reeds of that. The bands appear to go fully across on it. It's like a couple little bag marks over there. It's pretty nice though. So that concludes all the barber dimes in this that are higher grades, nicer looking. Yeah, I have a Carson City half dollar, but it's not in this box. Needs to be, but it isn't. Alright, let's look at some other coins. 1906. $20. It's well under melt now. That's under melt. It's a reasonably nice looking, although it looks like it's been toned and someone kind of cleaned it or something. It's weird, but not a lot of wear on this one. And this is a very busy side on these. Some people don't like that. Oh yeah, this one has the distinction of being a little bit lower mintage of 1.3 million. Orleans Mint didn't typically make a lot of these either. Last of the Orleans Mint quarters. The quarter survivability issues, there's not a lot of them out there. It took a long time to find one, but I have the 1909 Orleans quarter diamond. I have a couple half dollars. I don't know if they're in this box though. They're probably not. This one says VG, and then looks like a plus. 1914, near the end of the run on these. It's Philadelphia. It is a bit worn, but not near as much as a lot of them are. Someone wrote fine. That should mean most deliveries are visible on this. A little weak on the R and the T. Well, not the T, just the R and the E, basically. But you can see Liberty there. All right. 1917. It says as is. It's got a little damage on it. More on the back. But finding these first few years, this is type 1 as well, but finding these first few years of standing Liberties with dates on them is tough because the date was right on the surface and wore off real fast. There's a 1921 that the date is almost gone, but you can still read it, barely. And this one is a $28, $20 coin at the time. Gee, that's only $1.40 or $1.30 or so over melt. It was quite a bit more than that when I bought it. All right. Got just a few more in here to talk about. A few more coins, that is. We went through most of this. That's under half melt. It's just a shame. I mean, this one's not worn as bad as a lot of them are. It is towards the end of the year. 29D for $9. This one's a very fine, is what they claim. It was more. Let's see if we can look at this. I don't like this card being this way, but that's how he had it packaged. I'll take it out and put it in a card mount. Yeah, the D's kind of filled in from a little wear. That one's 29S. Let's see how well it looks. Well, the S still has a little bit of separation on it. It's worn some, but not terrible. All right, 30S. Very fine. $11. Hell, it's 7 something under melt now. The S has still got a little gap in it. Here's a really nice one. I don't have to tell you that AU coins of these, the price goes up quite a bit. It's a little bit worn, so it'd be a lower AU one. It wouldn't be AU 58 or 55, might be 53, somewhere around there, because it does have some wear, but it's very little, and it's not enough to get rid of the mint luster either. Of course, you get one that is uncirculated, the price doubles at least. 32 Denver, very low mintage. 400,000 range, very low. 32S is also 400,000 range, very low. And get a view, there's the S mint on that. And there's the Denver, the D mint. All right, there's that 139 Denver Walker I was showing earlier. the 41S that is a little under melt now, but pretty good mint luster on it. You can see the cartwheel effect. And then this lowest mintage of the $half from Kennedy in 40%. If I remember correctly, it was about 2 million were made, so it's pretty low. 1350 though is a couple dollars under melt now. So that concludes that. I hope that everyone has a good night. I'm going to work a couple other things back where they were. I left these out. They go in here. Then I'm going to go ahead and show the 2 cents that I put in there. And you'll see why when you see it. It's a Flying Eagle cent. It's pretty nice. A little bit worn, but not terrible. And then the 1858 one. But I put both of those in there because that's a pretty nice coin. Yeah, Kane, have you seen these? I don't know how many of these got exported to other countries, and I know you're right around across the world away from me. Flying Eagle cents. Haven't seen too many of these at a price I felt like I could buy. That one's kind of probably been cleaned, and it's a bit worn. But they made a lot of them, so it's not like it's super rare or anything. All right. Ziploc bag. That's in here too because I got these. I think I paid a total of $4 a piece for from the jewelry guy. If I can get the bag to open. These little Ziploc bags are a pain sometimes. And they're a pain because it's hard to get the two apart. They don't have like a little cut in. So let's look over these. First thing, this. It's a half dime. It's 1849. It's been had a hole dug in it. And it bent it some. I don't believe this is, I think it's a Philadelphia. Let's look at this one. It's just worn real bad. This one saw a lot of circulation. It's 1852. The back, it's worn a lot. This one's the interesting one. There's a little hole drilled in it. It's 1877, so it's not Civil War era. It's afterwards. But what's interesting is someone took some time and carved this into it. So this is like a love token. Could have been someone in the military who was on deployment away from his wife or girlfriend, and took a lot of time to carve the A and S on this. And when he got back, I guess the idea would be you present your girlfriend, wife, with this coin. Say, you show it this side first. She goes, "Yeah, I brought this back for you. because, and you flip it over and show the other side and say, the whole time I was gone, I was thinking about you. I think that's how they would do it. That's a really nice thing to get for $4. I mean, most of these love tokens like that, if you get them, you're going to pay more for them than that. Especially if they're pre-Civil War coins, which means they're probably Civil War tokens. But yeah, you want to know how it's stacking, Kane? I bought this today, $4. It's not worn very much. It's a sterling silver 1918 Canadian dime, or 10 cents. $4. This is melt on this is, I looked it up. Canadian dime 718, US dime 747. Now, this is what after Friday, what the melt value on each of the coins has went up to. A war nickel for $5.81. I know I have war nickels I paid that are nicer that I paid $1 for years ago. Dimes $7.47. That's the melt value. 1868 for quarter, 37.37 for half. Morgan dollars and peace dollars, almost $80. If silver goes up a little bit more, they'll cross 80. 40% halves, 15.28, and Ike dollars that are 40% silver is 32.67. I have some I bought not probably last summer or the year before summer. I got for $8.50. It's pretty crazy. Now, if you get some foreign coins and you wonder, hey, is this silver by any chance? Any chance at all? And that's a sailboat. Well, if you got a magnet, you find out very quickly it's not. Stuck right to the magnet. I want to talk about a selling ship, though. That is a selling ship. You see 3 masts. You start getting to your ship has 3 masts on it. You're starting to talk about, you got to call that a ship. It's not a boat. Whoops. That's just a world coin. But yeah, that is a ship. Meanwhile, where'd that thing go? Got something down here that's stuck to it. What is this? Oh, it's a newer Canadian quarter. What year is it? 82. Sailboat. Oh, this is a proof coin too. You know, silver had to go up to about $300 for that. Well, not quite 300. Probably about, thinking 250 would probably do the trick. That's what they make calculators for, isn't it? So we'll go ahead and say, I guess $250 silver. Well, you would take and divide that 12.5. Oh wait, I'm doing that wrong. 12.5. Wait, maybe I am doing it right. 250 divided by 12.5 grams is $20 a gram at that point. And you said is worth a Benji. Well, heck, that's... Maybe I'm doing my math wrong. Hold on a second. I don't know. Anyway, I do think that for a Benjamin Franklin $50 to be worth a Benjamin Franklin, which is $100 bill, silver's going to have to go up. Well, let's see. That's almost 40. 37.37 times 2.5 would be $93. So silver would have to go up probably $250. All right. We've covered a lot tonight. I've been live for almost an hour. Some people are still watching. I wish that one Carson City was handy, but it isn't. When you have bought coins for many years and you're like, well, fine example of getting a damaged one a while back. $17 piece dollar. The melt today is almost $80, so that's well under melt. $19.21 piece dollar. That's under melt. I don't remember exactly. Oh, there it is. Talk about getting a nice coin. See, the mint luster on this piece dollar is pretty nice. Has some bag marks and stuff, but in that field you can kind of see that goes all the way around. But this is a 23, and I bought it several years ago when silver is probably about, I want to say $18 to $20 a rand, something, maybe 22. Bought it for $19, and by melt value it's worth $60 more just in silver. 23 is a very common year. That's why it wasn't very expensive. There's lots of them, and there's probably lots of them that are low circulation, or not, yeah, low or almost none. Now 34S, most of these got put out to circulation. If you can ever find a graded one that's uncirculated or higher, it's going to be expensive. They're not very expensive as a common worn one. Most of them are probably still out there. Although once the refiners start accepting 90% again, stuff like that might go away. Which would be a shame. But I have a feeling if they start accepting 90% coins, the common date stuff, you're probably going to see 30-40% of it go away that's still out there right now, because people, especially if silver's still this high, they're going to want money and they're going to want to get it. And if it's a common date coin, they don't have much premium. And if silver rises so much, if the premium goes away on what you paid for it. Oh yeah, the Belize dollar. I see 1, 2, 3 masts. We're not talking about a sailboat. This is a sailing ship. You mean for this stuff? That peace dollar I just showed? Yeah, this is all in US dollar prices. All these coins. So I paid $4 for the Canadian sterling, which is by melt worth 7 something dollars. So I got it $3 under melt. I think Wise, because he bought a bunch of foreign coins about 4 or 5 months ago, and I think he priced this back then and never sold it, and then now it's silver's jumped so much, makes this thing way under melt. But I pretty much covered what I was going to cover tonight. Hoping everyone has a good night. And that's the thing. The stuff that used to be premium coins is now under the melt value of the coin, what I paid for it. And I hate to have to say that, but it happens. So I hope everyone has a really good night. And I don't know what happened to this, but it's machine damaged, I believe. It's filed up pretty well. I find that interesting, though, what some people do to these coins. Whether they do it purposefully or it just happened because it got stuck in the machine, it's hard to say. You'd like to think people aren't that silly, though. Well, everyone have a good night. And hopefully the snowstorm isn't going to be as bad as they were saying to the south. In the west, they've already had quite a bit of ice and a lot of snow. We didn't get a whole lot of snow yet. We should get quite a bit tomorrow, through overnight into tomorrow. And out east, I feel bad for some of those people who are in Pennsylvania, where the large area of Pennsylvania is said to be getting up to 18 inches of snow, which is unmanageable in any shape or form. So everyone have a good night. We will see you next time. That's all I got.